Sure,
The
sure.
recording is started.
বুঝবো না এখন
Okay, so our next topic is decision tree. Okay, this is another kind of diagram. Okay, another algorithm. You can say. Now, how it's working? Just see, like same way. Previously, we saw in linear regression how we are creating a simple line and differentiating. Correct? We saw in SVM how we can curve that line. Now in decision tree, if you can have multiple lines, correct, like this way, one line, okay, vertically two lines, and you can split, then you can learn better. Correct. All the previous algorithm based on distance we calculated. Now this one, this decision tree, and last one, this random forest, these two diagram is going to said about information. Okay, so maybe you guys already learned, like, how data information is work in your college life. So that's the same thing. Just think, if this is my data, like some companies are there, some jobs are there, some degrees are there, and it is going to say, basically based on like this data, they are going to hold salaries more than 100K or not. Okay, maybe their salary is just a dummy data. Okay, so it's not make sense, it's just a dummy data. So we can create like this way based on company. So company, if Google, Facebook, and ABC Pharma. So if Facebook, obviously, no matter is like any job or degree, obviously they are going to give you more than 100K. Again, this is just a dummy data. Now for Google, obviously there is a chance, but for few degree or job, it's different. For ABC Pharma, also different. So we can split it up. After company, we can split it up with the job. Then we can say, yes, in Google, for business manager, no matter whatever the degree is, they are giving you 100K, more than 100K. For computer programmer, yes, for master, they can, but for bachelor, they are not giving. For sales executive, no, they are not giving. Now we are creating another level of decision, okay, like bachelor, master. Then we can say, yes, this is like a very promising, like each and every nodes of this tree, we can see this is coming like this way, a decision. Correct. All others my what? Independent variable, and this yes, no, this is my dependent variable or my target. But how do you select those ordering? Because I created first company, then their job, then their degree. It can be something different also. So how you will know how you need to create those feature, which order? So see over here, if you are choosing company, then Facebook, ABC Pharma. So out of 6, all are giving same result. So that is called low entropy. Entropy means what? Entropy is measure of randomness in sample. There is no randomness. So that is low entropy. That's mean high information gain. A huge information is there. But here, see, randomness is there in that sample. So it's high entropy. But it's called low information gain, because it's not creating a decision. I need to again split that tree. But here, no need to split that tree after Facebook. Correct? It's giving me some decision. Yes. But here, there is a chance like 50-50 chance. Correct? Another part is there conceptually, that is Gini impurity or Gini impurity, whatever you say. If, see over here, few red dots are here, I can easily split, but one particular one outlier is here. So when you are dealing with linear model, okay, or logistic regression, you know how to deal with those outlier, like those z-score, median, okay, IQR, you can easily deal. That we already discussed. But in decision tree or decision information, this outlier is going to fit in Gini impurity. Okay, so this is all the theoretical part of decision tree. Now talk about random forest. Now what is random forest? Random forest on top of a decision tree, a advanced model. How? If this is your data set, okay, this first one, it's actually going to create three kind of split, okay, and with each split is creating its own decision. You are splitting your data and you are taking your own decision. This random forest is superb efficiently work with huge data, okay. Then it will take a majority vote. Then will come the first one. Now think about one example. Suppose I want to create, I want to purchase a mobile phone. Okay. I called maybe Jeet. So Jeet told me, bro, don't move, purchase that mobile. It's like its battery and RAM is actually not good. Okay, don't do that. So negative. So I called maybe Shamim. So Shamim said, yes, bro, you can do that because this one is very good. Okay. I called Deep. So Deep is saying, suppose like, yeah, you can go for that, bro. No issue because that mobile I'm also using, that is super fantastic. So what is the majority vote? Majority vote is yes. So my decision will be yes. Correct? So this is all about the random forest. Now, each and every tree, because forest means what? Multiple trees are there. Here also, if you are having multiple trees, you are taking decision and doing the majority vote. This is random forest. And if you are playing with a single tree, that is what? That is your decision tree, a single tree. So which one is good? Obviously random forest, but with the large data. But some few data, decision tree is very good. Okay, let's do some hands-on now. Same data set, okay, like company, job, degree, and blah, blah, blah. Like this, salary will be more than 100K or not. So simple, we already know our input, like independent variables we are taking, and we are taking in target the dependent variable. And we have over here, like see, company, job, degree. So obviously we need to play with those level encoder because we already learned how to deal with categorical feature. So we are just creating those all the level encoder and fit and transform. And it's coming like this way, company, job, and degree. Okay. Now, obviously I need to drop this company, job, and degree because this is useless because I have this data. So I'm dropping that one. So I have this data as an input and I have this data as my output as a target. And same library, sklearn tree, and I'm using decision tree classifier. Okay, I just fit means I'm training that model and see it's giving me 1. Correct? 1 means totally 100% it can predict. Let's see if I'm passing this value 210. Okay, 2 means what? 2 means this is my Google. Okay, 1 means computer engineer, 0 means bachelor degree. 100K, more than 100K? No, obviously no. That's why it's giving me 0. Then I'm giving Google computer engineer, but master degree. 100K, above 100K? Yes, 1. Correct? Now, some fun fact over here. Now, if we can deal with, randomized tree, or you can say, we just learned, correct? Random tree, random forest. So that one we can do using this ensemble, that is bagging classifier, tree, that is extra tree classifier. Okay, how we can do that? See, I'm just passing extra tree classifier. Okay, random state 0 means data will not going to change. I am fixing the data. Iteration is Gini because that's a Gini impurity. I'm going to check. Splitter is best because as we already discussed in random forest, what is happening? Your data you want to split and you want to create a multiple tree. Okay, so that I'm doing. Now I'm doing a bagging classifier. Bagging classifier is what? That's the majority vote where we are taking the majority vote. And I'm passing my tree over here because all my tree is extra tree classifier and my random state is 0 over here. I'm fitting that model the same way and my score is 93.75%. Okay, so if I can predict, I can easily predict both the part like the same way. Okay, let's go to jump in a practical, like another example, like we already saw load digit. So in load digit, we already know how we can deal with this data. I am not describing again. This is same, totally same. Okay, so here again, I'm splitting my data like a trend test split. Again, I'm doing like random forest classifier. N estimator 20. N estimator 20 is what? Another parameter. That is how depth, because we saw first company, then degree, correct? Sorry, first company, then job, then degree, like that way we are dividing, creating multiple level. So up to how much level you want to go deep dive. So I'm just giving 20. Again, this is a hyperparameter. You have to change. Okay. Criteria C, Gini impurity I'm using. Okay. This is my N estimator 20. N job equal to 1. I am to use one code only. If I am doing all those things, then see my score is coming 96%. If I am creating confusion metric is so much important to check your model is working good or bad, because from this model only you can predict. From this model only you can predict. See, over here only one mistake. From here, 1, 2, 3, 3 mistakes are there. So you what's you are targeting? You need to targeting to optimize your model and error free, correct? So from here only you can easily decide your model is working good or bad. So that's why confusion matrix is too much important. Okay. Let's go back to again, jump to our okay, let's not jump over here, let's jump over here. Okay, so now another two things are there, very small thing, that's I'm just covering over here. That is underfit, overfit, balance fit. What is that? If your line is going in the middle, suppose this is H, your Y, match on, that is your X. Okay, if your line is trying to divide, you know, like if your age is small, obviously you will own match much more rather than if you are having like, you know, a big age. So if this is happening, this is underfit because multiple points are missing. Okay, if you are creating a zigzag line, means everything you are trying to achieve, that is overfit. So you need a smooth curve, that is called balance fit. And that when it's happened, because we just discussed, remember, there is tug of war. So tug of war is what? Like one your algorithm is trying to fit everything, and your model is coming like one, like we already saw in decision tree, one. That is what? Overfit. Because data is small, you are using a super efficient algorithm. So obviously everything is mapped. But that is not correct actually, because overfit model means there is some issue. So you need a balance over there. Then what you need to do, see the formula is, as we already know, correct? Like y equal to mx plus b, the same formula we are actually trying to achieve. But see in this case, like our target is basically from this overfit, we need to create a balance fit. So somehow we need something so that it can force our algorithm to it become theta 3 and theta 4 almost close to 0, so that it can calculate only this part. How we can do that? We already know mean square error, correct? But in mean square error, we are just changing this h theta part. Okay, and which is what? This is called L2 regularization. You remember we discussed in SVM also gamma and regularization. So this is L2 regularization, and another one is L1 regularization. L2 regularization called Lasso regularization or Lasso model, and L1 is called ridge model. And if you are using L1 and L2 both together, that is called elastic net model. Okay, so lasso, ridge, and elastic net if you're using both. Okay, so this part, this first part, we already saw, correct? How mean square error is actually handling those error. We are trying to minimize those error. Now, this part, see this formula, theta square, this lambda, and over there, theta square. And this one, lambda is constant, but instead of square, I'm taking absolute value because both things are true. See this one, square means what? Like if something is coming minus, if you are doing square, it will come in positive. If you are doing absolute also, that means it's coming in positive. So we are taking all the positive points, correct? So in this two-way, what we can achieve, we can minimize the model overfit problem. So you can directly say when we are implementing like that one, like, linear regression, okay, or logistic regression, we can directly use instead of that model, these two model also, this lasso, ridge, or elasticness. Yes, in regularization part, we can easily give those parameters. Okay, and we can do that. How we can do that? Let's jump quickly in this practical one. See, same libraries we are using, so we are not dealing with that one. So here is one data is available in Kaggle. Now you guys know how to handle with Kaggle those data and all. So I'm just taking those data from Kaggle only. So this is again housing problem. Okay. So I want to predict what? I want to predict like those price only. So I'm not dealing with, those EDA part that you already know how to deal with. So you can easily deal. You know how to, for Panda, we can use get dummies, correct, as a dummy variable. And for sklearn, we are doing on one hot encoding that we already learned. So like that way we are handling. So apart from price, everything that is my X and that my price, that is my Y, that we already know. We are splitting those data. Okay. Now we are creating a linear regression model. Again, we are creating a linear regression. See, my test code is coming 13% only, but my train score is coming 68. As I mentioned, you remember, your train data is giving huge success, but your unknown data, means your test data, is giving so poor performance. So that means something is there, correct? Because your model is overfitting over there. Then what I need to do, see this one, under this linear model, that is called lasso. And I'm using alpha 50, max iteration 100, total is 0.1, the variation. Now again, this is the hyperparameter tuning you have to do. Once I did that, it's coming now, see, 66%, 67%. That's mean it's find out that balance fit. It's not overfit, not underfit. It's a balance fit. So now you can say it's a good model. Same way, if we are using ridge, this is lasso, this is ridge, then we can easily say same way, see, 66, 66. This is much better. Previously, it's also like 66, 67. Some difference are there in between test and train. But here, it's almost same. Few fraction difference are there. So obviously, now you got that point. If you are just using your model, normal model, maybe your train score and test score is different. Now that's mean you have to understand your model is either underfit or overfit. When, how you will understand underfit or overfit? If your train data is coming low, but your test data is coming so high, that is underfit. If the different, like, that If your test data is coming low, but your trained data score is coming high, that's an overfit. Because trained means those data point they know, and test means unknown data point. So obviously that's the overfit. Okay, so got the point, like how we can optimize with this regression model, correct? So apart from this, okay, today there is nothing we are going to discuss. Next day we will going to discuss about k-fold, cross validation, hyperparameter tuning, how we can do that. Then we will come unsupervised learning, like k-means clustering, naive Bayes clustering, uncluster, those unsupervised. But today you can deal with this one, this data. This is like a practical example, only a real case. This is like a Melbourne housing data. Okay, so now you just think when you will got the assignment, how you can deal with. You have to take the data from Kaggle. Obviously, always use this link where you are getting those data. Then what is your achievement points? Correct? The task that you need to write. Then you need to play around with those data. It can be categorical and numerical both together. Okay. Every point is important. You can't, you know, just leave behind any data point because you're not handling. Every point is important. I'm checking like how much unique things are there. What are those columns I'm going to use? Those I'm checking. Then I'm checking the head part. Then I'm checking the shape. Okay. Checking like is there any null value or not. Then handling those missing data. Okay. How? Here I'm dealing with those mean. You can dealing with those median as well. No issue. Then whatever the null value is there, that's one I'm dropping. Then I'm dealing with those what? Categorical features. Okay. With those one-hot coding or get dummies. Then I'm actually splitting the data. Then I'm training those data. Once I check is coming like this way, then I have to observe, I have to use this regularization model. Correct? L1, L2 or L1, L2 both as a elastic net. Okay. If you don't know how elastic net work, just search like this way, sklearn elastic net. Okay. Hell lot of, models are there. These tutorials are there. The same linear model elastic net. Here we already saw. Here you are passing yeah. Here you are passing reach. Here you are passing linear model lasso. The same way, if you are passing like elastic net, you can easily play around with this. But the fun fact is, whenever you are checking any this model, and if you want to know what are those parameter mean, go and read those documentation. It's very important. Check those theory, take this parameter, what is trying to mean that. Okay, then only if you are understanding better, then only you can play and optimize your model. Maybe your task will be same in this assignment. Correct? You have to take a data set, you have to create the full EDA part, then you have to train your model. But train your model not with one single, okay, not like a one single, because you don't know, right? You don't know like which algorithm you have to use. So if you don't know which algorithm is like a SVM, it's like a random forest, it's like a decision tree, it's like this elastic net, lasso, then your regression, like which one? Then what you need to do, you need to create that same problem with multiple algorithm and multiple time, whatever the score is coming, after that you need to create confusion matrix. Then at very last, you will understand for this kind of data, this algorithm is performing very good. But you can ask me like, this is not possible, right? In practical, when we are doing some productionized thing. Yes, some few advanced part are there that we will learn in later, like in our next session, how we can deal with those hyperparameter, then how we can check multiple things concatenately, that we will see. But this is like a basic. So for your understanding, you have to play with all those data as a EDA. Then you have to train your model with different algorithms. You have to collect all the records like scores, and you have to create individual confusion matrix. And you can lastly write what's your observation, with which parameter, which model is going or working good. So that's all about supervised machine learning.